October 7th, first of all, was not some type of a surprise happening. It's very far from that. This was culminating from the fact that they occupied 77 years the land of the Palestinians.
We are facing this horrible genocide since 1948. It's not since 2023.
Eventually, it's going to give, it's going to explode.
When my grandmother was 6 years old and she was forced to leave Al-Lid, her country, because of the massacres that were being in Palestine at that time in 1948, she had to move from Al-Lid to refugee camps in Ramallah, in Bitunia, in Jalazon, and then they stayed in Jericho. There weren't any October 7th at that time. And also in 1980, when she was killed along with her daughter and along with her other two relatives, it was not October 7th. And after that, when her home was demolished because two of her children were very angry because she was killed and they threw some rocks on one of the settlers' buses, they were sentenced for 5 years in jail and their home was also destroyed. There were no 7 October at that time.
My grandparents were killed in the Holocaust. Their constant mentioning the Holocaust, it's like an intimidation. It's a way of using as a guilt ride that the world should be silent when they're doing what they're doing to occupy.
3 years old, I was walking in my village along with my 6-month-old sister and my mother, and then a military vehicle passed by. It was in 1989. So as a child, I've done this slogan as a victory. I raised my 2 little fingers as a victory sign. So what happened after that? The vehicle had stopped, they got back, they took our mother, and they just left. And they left us on the street, a 3-year-old child with her 6-month-old sibling.
Every day is worse than the day prior. Every day is like an ingenious, a satanic oppression of the Palestinian people. And as a Jew, it is abhorrent, it is revolting, it is totally contradictory to the whole concept of what it means to be a Jew, what our covenant with God is.
By the end of the first Intifada, and the Israeli military forces had came to the house by the midnight. They just gave us like, let's say, 3 seconds. They just hit the door. And my mother was just wanted to put her hijab, her veil. They didn't give us any time to act. And immediately, they had thrown a sound bomb to the door. My youngest sibling, I just can't forget her face when she was biting her nails and she wet herself because she had heard this horrible sound by the midnight.
Determined to defend the state, which after so much of struggle and effort and sacrifice and longing.
So you can see when they created their state, you see David Ben-Gurion reading the Declaration of Independence in 1948, and they're sitting there with the Star of David because they call it a Jewish state, the state of Israel. They took the name of Jacob, and this is how they're broadcasting to the world that they're creating a Jewish state. It's brazen chutzpah. Chutzpah means hubris, audacity, disrespect, that they're going to tell the world, they're openly declaring we're making a Jewish state, saying that, in other words, they're transforming Judaism clearly out of any subservience to God.
Yeah, it's the first time that I'm saying this, but I don't know if I can, I was passing from Nablus to Ramallah through Hawara checkpoint, and a female military soldier had asked me to go inside like a small 1 meter square place where she needs to do like checkup for me. It was the scariest moments that I can remember. She asked me to remove my clothes one by one, and she said, no, you need to remove your pants because I need to check if you have bumps behind them. I told her, how can I do such a thing? And you can see clearly that I am not holding anything. For me, it was the first time that I witnessed such an ugly sexual harassment. She insisted that I need to take all my clothes off, but I insisted that I won't do it. And I started raising my voice, and I asked her, go and bring your supervisor or anybody. I will not do it. And I was, inside me, there were too many emotions. I was afraid and I was shocked, but at the same time, I had a lot of courage to say no.
You're watching people being murdered, and you stand up and you say, wait, stop, what's going on here? And so you're an anti-Semite? You know, it's an insult to people, to humanity. They see what it means when you say anti-Semitism. It means nothing. So they've watered down totally the whole concept of anti-Semitism. Every year they would be going out on the streets and pleading, and they would say, stop terrorist Zionist massacre in Gaza, and then so forth in Palestine. And the reward for that is, by the way, they spray them with chemicals, and they brutally beat them, whether it's children. They drive into them with horses, with cars, smash their heads. Here you see them choking them, and this is the army. And if this would happen in any other country, it would be, everybody would yell, scream, this is anti-Semitism.
Palestine is with us every day, every night. We write a lot of articles, books, we do films, we do a lot of things about Palestine. We know it's not enough, but that's the thing that we can do as individuals, as people.